tonight, somebody.
I'm flying.
Well, Coach, when you went back and watched the film, what really stood out as being a big shortcoming?
Well, I think the biggest thing we'll show these guys just here in a little bit will be the fact that how momentum can play a big, huge part in the game, especially when you're playing an older team that understands they've been together and where you have a chance to make layups, free throws, and then you let it get away from you. But then it's the way you handle that. And I could tell throughout the game where guys really almost went back into a shell because these guys have not been in this situation where they've been counted on heavily. But it's not anything that we can't fix. But it's based on those guys, and they will. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to work hard at getting better. Defensively, we got driven by too many times by situations that we shouldn't have, because we knew that we were going to push them out of their sets and push them into those situations, but we were getting blown by too much there. And but the thing that you asked me that's come out of it, I think, has been the response of how these guys all really on the day off came in on their own to work on this, that, or whatever. And when you got guys that do that, again, you know you're going to have a chance to be a good basketball team. These guys have been put in a situation that we probably, when we put together this schedule, it wasn't for these guys, but they're going to have to deal with it. And I think it's been good these last couple games that we've been able to be exposed in a lot of areas before we head into the SEC. Obviously, playing without Lamonte the first time, we weren't sure how that would go. And but again, I trust these guys. I know how hard they work, and I think we're going to be fine.
Do you think that when you talk about responding to adversity is where you miss the one thing as much as to get aware?
No doubt, and it's probably as tough a game as you could play with an experienced team coming back. I would say that's the one thing there in that game right there is his presence in a game like that. But the fact that we got that over with before we get into conference play is probably a good thing. And but even with all that said and done, again, I don't want to take anything away from Wisconsin because they played terrific. They played great. I thought it was the best game that they played all year, and we had a lot to do with that by letting them get comfortable. But still, the things that we did do with our younger guys too, they're going to find out, and they already are finding out, the fine line between winning and losing, and how your hand getting up too late on the jump shot as your hands are down. Those are the things that younger guys have to get busted a few times on before they figure it out, and they're going to have to figure it out because we're going to continue to play teams that play at a high level.
What would you need to see from Santiago to feel comfortable with giving him minutes at some point?
Again, he's here, and he's already been going through some things. Today will be his first practice, and I think we'll see. Again, I don't know if there's any one thing that we need to see. I just think it's because it's not just what we do offensively, it's defensively, but I don't think there's any question he'll help us. And he's competitive. He's been around. He's played some high-level teams, obviously, internationally, and so I don't know if there's any one thing I can tell you he's got to do. I just think it's him getting a feel for what we're doing.
Who's that guy that needs to keep you guys out of a shell when things go wrong?
You know, you like to think it's going to be your older guys, because they've been through it, but not in the role that they're in right now. And so you still have to always look towards your older guys because, these young guys they're going through this for the first time, and it's a tough way to get indoctrinated to it, but with the schedule that we played, but it's good. And again, I believe all this works out for the right reason, and I think this week off is here for the right reason. Not that we planned it, but it has come at a good time because we've got things that we can work on. But you still want your older guys to be the one, and it doesn't mean they're the ones making the shots. They're the ones that are saying, "Hey, this is what it's about. We gotta play." And you go back and look at. We were talking to the guys over the weekend, the college football playoffs, and you look at the 49er Seahawks game. I mean, it's tough, and but if you're going to be good in this, if you're going to play sports, there's going to be adversity, and you've got to learn how to handle that, and you've got to learn how to fight through it when it's not going your way. And this is what this group's going to have to find out right now, and they're going to have to figure out how to do that.
Only being allowed so many hours per week that you can spend with Santiago, have you had any of your older players kind of step up and try to get him up to speed so far?
He has. He's gone in with the scout team mostly and done the things that he's wanted to do there. But again, he'll with our coach staff, again, starting today, he'll be treated just like everybody else, and you have to do things. There'll be some things in place, like he had to get his physical, which he did. He was doing that right before the game, The eligibility center opens with the NCAA on the 2nd, which we don't think there'll be a problem there. And so you try to get out in front of all the situations that could come up in terms of his eligibility coming in at Christmas. But from a practice, again, he'll start today, and we'll continue to, with all the guys and coaches we have, to help him as much as we can.
Just going back to right before, say August or September before all this started, I imagine probably thought you were going to have a healthy Lamonte and Urosh. Just how have you had to adjust to what you thought this year was going to be?
Well, if you want to look at the schedule, this schedule was put together with the mind that you're going to have Grant Williams, Jordan Bone, and all those guys. But then that changed, and which happy for those guys. But then, yeah, you think you're going to have Urosh and Lamonte, but the fact is we don't. And so these guys, what it means is guys that were expected to have a chance to grow up slowly don't get to do that now. They're going to get put out there. And so in the long run, is it going to help us? Absolutely. And I have enough confidence that these guys they've got enough pride and work ethic that we'll figure it out. And it's a long way to go, man. I tell you, it's a long way to go between now and March, and nothing that we do, we changed where we are, and in terms of our expectations, and we're not going to change that. We're not. We expect these guys to figure this out like all teams that play with young players, but we still need our older guys to be more consistent than they have been up to this point.
What can Santiago add to this team?
Well, naturally he is a point guard. That's his natural position, and that's what he does. When you look at him, and I've watched him on tape, and the guys that have seen him play would tell you that that's what he does. He's able to run a team, and now has he done it to this level? No, but that's why we brought him here, because we think he's capable of doing that.
Do you have a timeline in mind on him? Is it an ASAP thing?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, I don't. You keep at it. I don't know. We're gonna put him out there and see, and he's no different than anybody else comes in. It's based on how quickly he can absorb things.
What did you talk to Josiah about after his first game, kind of running the show?
Well, I think with Josiah, I think the same thing. He's got to be more aggressive. He's going to have to play harder on offense. He's going to have to really continue to work hard on his defense to stay in front of the ball. I think conditioning is still a big part with him. I don't think he's in the kind of shape that he needs to be in to play the minutes that he wants to play. But offensively, he's got to totally change his mindset in terms of playing to the rim more. And when he's open, he's got to take shots. The same with Bowden. We've got to take open shots. I mean, we started the game with a wide open shot, didn't go in. You come off again, you got that same shot. You got to take that shot. And that's where we can't be tentative. And there's nights when shots don't go in, but even with what we did in the first half, I tell you, if we'd have made our free throws, if we'd have made those layups, it's a one possession game at halftime. And that's how fine a line it is. But then the momentum is what swung in a way that I think our guys felt like they were, and we were, digging out of the hole mentally more so than what was in front of us from the standpoint of the score. But again, it'll be a good lesson for them as they watch it today through our eyes, that they'll find out that how fine a line it is and how quickly it can get away from you if you start doubting yourself, if you get tentative, if you are getting in a situation when you're open and you don't take open shots and you do something else and it results in a turnover. So it's going to be something that we can definitely learn from.
Was even Fulke getting only 7 total shots on them, or Wisconsin's defense?
No, it's both. It's on. But Wisconsin did a good job on the front side, but I also think those guys have got to do the things that we ask them to do in practice too, and they're going to have to work to get the ball, and our guards are going to have to be a little bit more patient to get it to them. But it's still, they know they're our number one option, and again, we've proven in the past that if you want to get the ball inside, you can, but it works both ways. They've got to want that ball, and they've got to work to get position. Twice the ball was there, and they let their defender either deflect it or get around, and it's never going to be easy to get it there. And but also when they get it, they get fouled. They got to make free throws.
2 more.